All right. So we just went over a lot of information just now, going through the unincorporated business trust. So I want to open up the floor for any questions that you guys might have regarding any of the information that we went over this evening regarding setting up our templates for the business trust. Any questions?
Hi, this is Atika Johnson. I do have a question. You
Hi,
saying the
Tika.
grantor, hi, how's everyone doing this evening? So I want to make sure I understand the role of the grantor. The grantor can't have any benefits of the trust.
That's correct.
Is- So if it's a family member, but I wanted them to have benefits of the trust, they can't be the grantor.
Correct.
And
You're gonna have to choose someone else to be your grantor. So for example, if it's like, if you want it to be like your mom, but then you want your mom to be a beneficiary as well, you can't choose your mom. You have to choose someone else.
okay. Will this record how will I be able to get will I have access to this recording for tomorrow? Because
Mhm.
my computer was not working right and I could follow along, but I couldn't change anything.
Yeah, you have lifetime access. So you're
Okay.
going to get, yeah, you're going to get an email with the link, and then we are
Mm,
also going to upload it in the portal.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, that changes a lot. So now I have to figure out who's a grant or who will be my grantor. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Tika.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so under the Schedule B, name all the properties in the trust. Is this going to be my businesses or everything I want to put in here?
Yeah, so if you're using the trust as a holding company, your assets are going to be your businesses, your LLCs and your S corps. So you're
Mhm.
going to, put the name of those entities.
Including my properties go into
The
this listing for this, or is that waiting for the family trust?
Are your properties going to go inside of the business trust,
Hmm. They're business
or
properties.
their business property? They're like commercial units?
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're actually personal care homes that one of the companies own. So,
Yes, absolutely.
okay.
Yep. So on Friday, we'll do like the quick claim deeds if you need a deed over the property into the name of the trust.
I have a question.
Yep.
For the grantor, can you use the same person for the three different ones?
Yes,
For
that's a
three
good
different,
question. Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, you can use the same grantor for all three of your trusts.
okay, and can you only have one, I think you might answer it though, trustee for the board members? Like if you just wanted it to be just you, because you don't have like any other people that you would assign as board members.
So, you want, so the best practice is to have at least two other people, to
Okay.
have three board members.
Okay.
So that is, I'm only going to tell you the right way to operate your trust. So it's not really feasible for you to operate, a board of trustees with only one person. All right. Next, who else do we have? Was that Latoya?
That's me. So I think I got a bit confused with the Schedule A and Schedule B. So in
Okay.
Schedule B, we're putting the assets and the businesses in there, assets as in the house and the car.
Right. So you are listing the assets. So in the Schedule B, you're just listing like, hey, these are the assets that belong inside the trust. There are other things that you have to do in order to actually get those assets to be owned by the trust. So for example, if it's a property, right? What you're going to do is the first thing you're going to do is an inventory of your assets, right? Then you determine, okay, I want to put this property into this trust. So then you're going to list it in the Schedule B. You're just going to list the address, right? So this is one of the assets or the properties in the trust. But then you have to actually do the legal stuff, which is deed over the property from your personal name into the trust. So you have to execute a quitclaim deed, turn it into the county, then the county changes the ownership from your name to the name of the trust. So there's a couple different steps involved, but the Schedule B is just a list.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I saw yours had 51 pages. Mine only has 41 pages. So the last page that you went over, I don't see it. After the certificate of trust, Schedule A, trustee powers.
Yeah, it's in the resources. Let me see. Aya, can you upload the administrative contact information form? Okay, Aya's gonna upload it.
Yes, we'll put it in the chat box.
Thank you. All right. You all done, Latoya? My throat.
I am, thank you.
You're welcome. Alton.
Hi, how you doing?
I
had a question in reference to the tax 1041. And so, with that, you would still file that as you would file your personal tax, but it just be the trust. Okay. And I guess it's two-part. So you would still file your own personal tax as well, correct?
If you generated income like on your Social Security.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that end
Yeah.
to be added, yeah. That's so yeah, it's a Social Security number. I was just trying to make sure that there's no assumption that, oh, I'm just gonna stop filing my personal taxes if I get income. I didn't want that to be the assumption.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you still have to file your personal taxes if you make, if you make income on the personal side using your social stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
That was a good question. Any other questions? I know I kept you guys late and I am so apologetic. We were supposed to end at 9, but we had some technical difficulties in the beginning. So we started a little after 7. So any other questions for this evening? I know we went through a lot. Aya is going to send out the recording as soon as possible. So it's up in the cloud right now. As soon as we get it down from the cloud, then she's going to send it to you guys. And then we're going to upload it into the portal too, because you have lifetime access to it. Okay. So, yeah, so she's sending some stuff in the chat right there. Is there any other last questions?
On Schedule D, was that just the is that gonna be like the holding company what we created on Schedule D on that page? That's the name of our trust.
Hold on. Under the Schedule D, that's the memorandum of personal property. Let me see.
Yeah, is it gonna be like, it's not gonna be the family trust, it's gonna be the business trust, correct?
The beneficiary?
No, I'm saying for that trust, is it gonna be the business trust there too on Schedule D?
Under where it says name of trust?
Yes.
Under where it says name of trust is the name of the trust that you're creating. So if you're creating the holding company, put that name.
Okay, yeah, for the business trust. That's the name of Okay.
That's the name you put there. Yep.
Christina, I have one
I
more
have a
question about the address.
Okay, go ahead, Latoya. And then there's another gentleman. I hear your voice. I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna just let Latoya go, and then you can go to after her. Is that Booker? Is that you, Booker?
Yes. Yes, it
Okay,
is.
all right. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Ladies first, Booker. Give me 1 second, okay?
I'm gonna make it
No
quick,
problem.
Booker.
No problem.
Thank you. All right, Latoya.
Go ahead.
With the address, did you say that we should use our home address, or did you say we should get a PO box or
A virtual address? Yeah. So I said that you shouldn't use your home address because your home is already, so your home address is associated with you, and
Okay.
you are setting up a trust to, one, conceal your identity. So you don't want your trust to be associated with the same address that you are associated with personally. So
Got
that's
it.
why you want the trust to have its own separate address. And you can either use a PO box or use a virtual address. I recommend you use a virtual address, especially for the business trust, because you want to go after funding and credit, and you want to look credible. So you want to be able to get a virtual address that is going to appear as if you're in a commercial location.
Does it have to be in the state? It still needs to be in the state we live in, right?
It
Or not?
should be, yeah. It should
Got
be.
it. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm done,
last
Booker. Thank you.
Question, Christina, we don't have to establish a corporation or anything through the state, though, do we?
Taylor, you are skipping.
I
Booker.
know, but I just thought about it when she said that, and I'm like,
Okay,
But I
hold
was
on.
next.
I'm gonna let Booker go, and then I will answer your question, Taylor. Okay. All right, Booker, Mr. Booker.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, the question I had is, okay, this says the declaration of contract and indenture. So this is an initial document setting up trust activity. This is not, is this an actual trust, or this is us declaring that we're going to be we're going to be doing trust activity?
Oh, that's a good question. And I explained that in the beginning of the call, and I know you wasn't present in the beginning of the call, so I will go through it again, okay? All right.
Okay, great.
So I'm gonna share my screen really quick, and I'm gonna go through it in 2 minutes. Hold on.
All right.
Because me and Mr. Booker go way back, don't we? Way,
Yes,
way
ma'am.
back. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me find my page. All right, there we go. I found it. My goodness, I'm having some technical difficulties here. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay, great. So this is what we call the declaration of contract and indenture. Indenture is the agreement. The trust is a contract. The trust is the agreement. This is the trust. But there's 2 sections to the trust. The first one is the declaration of the contract, and then the second part is the indenture, which is the contract. But we merge them together. Okay, so it's one document, but it's 2 different sections. So the first one that we see here is the declaration. So the declaration is literally where you see this first paragraph, and then it goes all the way up to number 1. Number 1 is the beginning of the indenture. So if we see here, the first few paragraphs are what we are declaring what it is, and we are declaring what it is not. So we are declaring, one, that it is a contract, right? So declare and announce that I intend to create and do create the trust to manage other trusts and legal entities. So that's what we're declaring.
Okay.
Then this document is a declaration of contract and indenture, and hereby referred to as indenture, which is the agreement. We're declaring that we're setting it up as an inter vivos trust estate between the living from one natural person to a living entity. Now we're declaring what it is not, right? So we're expressly declaring that it is not a trust agreement by gift. It is not a partnership. It is not a company by statute. It is not an association. It is not a corporation. It is not a limited liability. It is not a joint venture. It is not an entity by statutory nature. So those are like the most important things. So the declaration is only the first page and a half, and then everything else is the indenture. From 1 all the way down to 30 to right here to the end, 38. That's the indenture.
Okay.
38. And then this last page here is the signature page, which makes it legal.
Okay.
Okay. All right, cool.
Okay, and all the other trusts would be addendums to this.
What do you mean all the other trusts? What do you mean all the other trusts? The
ministry trust, the family trust.
They're all separate entities.
They're all separate entities. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this is its own trust. It's not associated with the other trust. Like not like
this is not associated with the family trust.
Right. What I mean by it is it's separate. It is not like, it's not combined or anything like that. It's separate. It's a separate entity.
Okay.
It's like McDonald's doing business with Burger King. Those are separate entities. They're not intertwined or connected or any of that stuff.
Okay.
All right. And then we have Taylor, and then we have Coco.
Yeah, I think you just answered it, because if it's non-statutory, then no, I won't need to sign it with the state, basically.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, you are correct. Hey, Coco.
Hey there. Hi, everybody. Thanks for a great class this evening. My question is about the declaration, actually. With the first part of the declaration portion of the indenture, does that means that this entire contract, or this entire contract cannot be governed by, it can't be governed by or can't be changed by any government entity, right? So
Correct. Anything
that's changed in there, or anything that happens in the context of the indenture, the trustee basically is the government of the trust, right?
Yep, the governing body of the governing instrument.
Got it. Okay. And so with that in mind, for example, if you've got a business as an asset contained in that particular trust, then is there a way to, and I know this is kind of an extra question about, what is it, the CTA, and the beneficial owner, what is that whole thing that's coming up in January? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's called a Corporation Transparency Act, is it?
Yes, Corporate Transparency Act and the BOI. So if you put everything in the context of the indenture, does that prevent you from having to do that, or do you still have to, because as a trustee, you can still benefit from the proceeds of the trust, right?
So yeah, as the trustee, I mean, you can appoint yourself a salary, and then you could also benefit from the trust as far as like the assets and stuff. With that CTA, you only have to disclose, humans or people or beneficial ownership or interest, if you have like 25% or more ownership in these corporations. So so to be honest, I don't know too much about it.
Okay.
From what I've gathered so far is that if you have your entity owned by the trust, then you're okay. You don't have to disclose your identity because the trust is the identity.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's any, further changes that's going to happen, so I can't really speak on it too much.
Fair enough. That's adequate for me for now. That makes sense though.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for the answer. Thank you.
Sounds good, Coco. All right. Any other questions? If not, ooh, it's 9:40. So sorry, guys. You know me.
Yes, I got a question real quick. Just like
Okay.
if we have questions that we need answer outside of our Zoom classes at 7, how can we contact you personally?
Yeah, so you can contact the community line. You can also get into the Facebook group and put your question in there. Aya and myself were responsive inside of the Facebook group, and then you can also call the community line too. So you can call, text, you can email, and you can go into Facebook. And then you can always book a call too. So I put that in the chat as well. So you can always book a call, and we can get your questions answered. How does that sound?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So for the rest of the week, we have tomorrow we're going to be setting up the private family trust. So tomorrow morning, you will receive an email with the Zoom link and the resources you need as far as the template for the private family trust. And then, so go through the checklist that you received today so that you can prepare. But it's very similar to what we went through, where you're going to need a grantor and a list of beneficiaries and things of that nature. Okay. And then Wednesday, like I said, we are going to go through the ministry trust and become ordained ministers. And then Thursday, we're doing trust corporate credit, board meetings, and promissory notes. And then Friday, we are transferring assets. So you are going to receive the asset inventory list. Go ahead and start working on that. So then by Friday, you know which assets you're putting into which trust. Okay. And then we do have homework. So our homework is for you to get inside of the Facebook group and let us know, like introduce yourself, right? So we want to get to know you. I think there's like about 200 of us in there. So we want to get to know you because you guys are new to the community. So go ahead and join the Facebook group and introduce yourself, and we will see you inside of the Facebook group. So we are all done for this evening. Thank you so much for staying on. And you will be receiving the recording shortly from Aya, and you will be receiving tomorrow's information. You'll be receiving it tomorrow morning, usually around 11 Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you guys here on Zoom tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody have a blessed evening. Good night.
You too. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you, Coco.
You too. Thank you. Good night.
Have a good
Good
night.
night.
Rest that voice for tomorrow.
I know, it's all cracky, right? You hear it? Oh my God, I need some water.
Yeah. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Good night, Christina. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a good night.